you doing?
What you got?
That is our YouTube wood. What were you thinking? How are we gonna review if you steal our wood? He's like, Mom, don't let him take my wood.
Hey y'all, and welcome back to the channel. While out on my backpacking adventures, I have been carrying a small pocket knife to use as for my camp kitchen and even to try to make kindling for firewood. Well, just so you know, that's not gonna cut it. I definitely need something a little bit bigger. So I've been in the market for a Bushcraft knife, and I found this one by BeaverCraft. Let's get it open and see what it can do.
All right, babe. So let me tell them a little bit about BeaverCraft. So these guys are in the Ukraine right now. So these knives are being made during wartime. So when you're supporting these guys, you know that you're actually making a difference in their life and helping them during a time of hardship. Now, because it's made in the Ukraine, they're able to get their steel a lot cheaper, and their labor is so much cheaper than the rest of Europe and the United States. So you get a whole lot of knife for not a whole lot of coin. So right off the bat, she's pulled it out of the box here. Oh, what do we got? We've got, is that a fire starter, babe?
So yes, it's the fire starter.
And it's got a holder for it, so you can just slide it in.
Actually, with this particular sheath, it can be stored. Probably shouldn't put the knife to my belly.
It's like, don't do as she does, do as she, and so they make it tight because at the end of the day, you do not want that coming off while you're hiking, because it would suck if that's your only fire starter and it falls out on the trail.
There you go.
So, all right, so when it comes to the holster, it's a nice leather holster. You've got two options to carry this thing. So that first one that she's holding is the drop holster. That's gonna put the knife a little lower on your leg. And basically, as you move and sit, it's gonna move with you a little more than being tight up against your waist. Now, for her, how do you think you're gonna carry this knife, babe?
I will be probably carrying this on my backpack. So most likely, I will be using the smaller or the shorter holster.
The shorter clip.
Or the shorter clip. I mean, it's possible I may try it on my hip just to see if I can move okay with it. If that's possible, then I will most likely keep it shorter, because when I'm hiking and you've got this kind of step, you don't want that dangle to get in the way. You guys know what that's like.
Yeah, the dangle does get in the way. Guys, let me know in the comments if you think she looks like Laura Croft right now. I feel like we're gonna go raid a tomb later. All right, so let's talk about the steel. So like I said, it's Ukrainian steel. It's 1066 carbon steel. There's gonna be people in the comments that's like, oh, carbon steel is junk. It is not junk, it has a purpose. What you need to do, if you're gonna store a knife in a leather sheath, just oil it, okay? Just oil it. And the knife itself is actually beautiful. About 75% of these knives are hand assembled. And you know, of course the blades are CNC'd out. But it's got some really nice coloration. You can see your ridges on the backside for your fire starting. That's where the ferro rod's gonna be. It is a full-tang knife. The tang is the exact same length as the blade. So it is very, very balanced. What do you think of how it looks so far?
Oh, I love the way that it looks. When I picked it out online, I love the way that it looked. I love that it's rugged. I love that it looks like it's handmade. I mean, it looks like it's been that the handle's been handmade. And I love the feel of the knife.
So it feels good in your hand?
Yeah.
It's not too big or bulky for your small hands?
Right. Well,
Perfect.
And you say small hands. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
I've got some big sausage hands.
Yeah, you got some big weightlifter hands.
So with that being said, you know, even with my thicker hands, it feels really good. I'll know more once we kind of get into using it a little bit more.
So, and the other thing to note, babe, how does that blade feel right out of the box? Because I'll tell you, I already felt it, and it seemed like it was razor sharp. That's why she don't want to touch it, because that thing came out razor sharp. And one thing about 1066, guys, if it does dull, 1066 is going to be much easier to sharpen. And since a lot of times you'll need to sharpen these in the woods, you'll only have a small whetstone or something like that. You don't bring your full sharpening kits. So it's actually a much more useful knife to have in the woods. The handle is going to be, let's show off that handle real quick. That handle is going to be European walnut. And I love at the end, you've got that area where you can put some paracord, but I'll be honest, I also think that could probably work as a bottle opener. What do you think?
Possibly.
It doesn't say it, but I've seen people open bottles with less. So I think maybe.
Well, then take a look at the sheath. We showed you how you could mount it, but I mean the sheath is really well done.
Yeah. And I love that retention strap. Put the knife back in the sheath and see if that retention strap will allow the knife to fall out. Did you put it in backwards, babe? Yes.
No.
Yes, the blade, now it's right. It wasn't though. Now it's right. So
I do the same thing with my gun.
how do you put a gun in
I don't know.
backwards?
I do it all
All
the
right,
time.
so with the retention strap, will that knife come out of the sheath?
It seems to be holding it fairly well.
Try to pull it yourself. Okay, so
Yeah,
if you
I
pull it,
can.
it will still come out.
Yeah.
But you think when you're put it back in, you think when you're on the trail, as far as shaking it, you don't think it'll fall out or anything?
No, because I feel like I was shaking it pretty hard. I don't think it will come out. I had to pull it pretty hard to get it to come out. It wasn't a light pull.
Yeah, okay. So it's not gonna fall out while you're walking.
No.
Okay, perfect. So it's only gonna come out if you want. And that's great in a sense because if a bear is charging you, you may forget to pull that retention strap.
Yeah.
So it's good that the knife is gonna come out. All right, so do you wanna do some testing with this thing today, babe?
Absolutely.
All right, babe, what's the first test that we're gonna try with the knife?
The first thing we're going to do is try a little bit of batoning. This is probably one of the biggest ways that I will be using this knife out while I'm backpacking. A lot of times we try to make fire, and of course we don't have kindling because we don't carry it along with us. So we'll be trying to make a little bit of kindling and smaller pieces to start a fire.
Perfect. So guys, she's just gonna place that knife right on the top of a piece of wood that she wants to cut down. And then she's gonna use that other piece of wood to hammer the knife blade through. So she's gonna wanna make sure that knife is good and far up so she's got plenty of area to hit the blade. And she'll take it all the way down.
Kind of went deep.
You did, but that's fine. At least you know the blade can take it.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, so if anything, you'll see some scratches on the black, on the carbon, but no issues on the top.
Still looks nice and
Still
straight.
looks nice. So now she can take that smaller piece and babe, do you want to do some feathering with it?
We can try.
So now she'll try to get some small pieces for the fire that she's going to try to start later. And once you get in a good groove with feathering, it starts going fast. But right there, she's making some great pieces. Yeah. So does that blade, you feel a lot of resistance, or does the blade just seem to be doing work?
The blade just seems to be doing work. It took me a minute to kind of get in the groove as to where I needed to have it. And that's just my own lack of
Practice.
practice, yeah.
And guys, she is putting this in our pop-up pit. If you don't have a pop-up pit, they are the greatest little fire pits ever. We've had this thing about 3 years now. But yeah, so the thing's just doing great. Like I said, the blade on this thing comes very, very sharp. Think you can start a fire with that?
I don't know, we'll try.
All right, let's see what we come up with. Let's see. Think that's enough, guys? All right, guys, the pressure is on. This is on camera. Is Kim gonna be able to start the fire with the ferro rod? And if you've ever used the ferro rod, you know that you need to scrape it up pretty good because it's got a coating on it.
That's what I was gonna say, this thing is brand new, so
It's brand new, so we've got to get that coating off.
Oh shit, I don't know.
What?
So shit, it may work.
All right, hold on.
Well, no, as I'm scraping it, it's already trying to make some flicker.
All right.
But yeah, with a ferro rod, it's best if you just kind of scrape that coating off.
All right, there we go. I can see some sparks.
Some sparks, yeah.
Okay. All right, she's gonna give it a try. All right, YouTube. Oh shit, she is so good with ferro rods.
You say that, but I'll tell you what I don't like about trying to start a fire in this fire
It moves.
pit. It moves a whole lot.
Yeah. Holy shit, it's throwing some flame. Wow. Oh man, you're so close.
Many months later.
Well, all right, guys. So the flint.
So the flint leaves a little bit to be desired.
The flint leaves
So
a lot to be
I
desired.
did get some sparks. Okay, you guys do see that. And then I'm got to where I'm not getting sparks anymore.
And so,
And now,
what I'm gonna say to that is this.
because you know you've seen me start with one of these.
I've seen you start a fire with a flint, yes. So here's what I'm gonna say. The flint leaves a lot to be desired because at the end of the day, it did break down on the first use. But that flint holder was gonna work for any of those aftermarket flints as well. So if it were me, I would just buy a better flint, to go into your sheath.
Yeah.
Because here's the kicker, guys. This knife, because they are able to produce them in the Ukraine, how much was this knife, babe? With the sheath and everything?
$49.
$49.
$49.
So go ahead and if you need to make tent steaks, you know, if you need to kill a bear, you've got it. So the knife will work for everything that you need. It's just that flint seems...
If that's important to you. But,
yeah.
But here's the thing, that I was just going to demonstrate it because I had it. But the truth is, out on the trail, that's not going to make me or break me. Because we always take lighters, matches, that sort of thing. But like you said, it's going to be a perfect knife now to make kindling, make some tent stakes or spears if you like to go rough it when you're fishing. As you can see, it's cutting just fine for that purpose.
Man, there's something about a woman making a sharp stick that is getting Sacagawea vibes. People are going to be Googling Sacagawea right now. All right. So, flint, boo, knife, sheath. What are your thoughts on that?
Love the knife, or love the sheath, love the knife so far. And now that I've beat it up with a stick and some kindling, let's see if it'll actually cut food.
Okay. I can't get her to stop carving a damn spear, guys.
So this is elder wood. I don't know if elder is harder than pine. Don't know. But there we go.
All right.
So yeah.
So now you're gonna use it as your kitchen knife now?
Yep. We got some sausage.
Some what? How was that said?
Some sausage.
That's a thick sausage.
I like big sausages.
Yeah, I don't think we heard you. What'd you say, babe?
I like big sausages.
Oh, okay.
They're nice and salty and tasty. And look how easy that cut. Did you miss it?
I did.
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Like butter, baby.
That is a thick sausage.
Yeah. So after doing all the beating and carving and things, it still cuts my meat just fine.
And that's important.
It is important.
So, all right. So you still think it's a keeper even though your flint let you down?
Yeah, because ultimately the flint was just like an extra feature, right? That's, I mean, we don't actually use that on the trail. It was just kind of one of those cool talking points. And hey, I can start a fire. But no, I love the knife. I like that it feels good. It doesn't feel too terribly heavy. So I think that's a big plus, because one of the big things that's important to me when I'm out backpacking is weight. And I don't want something that is going to be too super heavy or daunting to carry. And I don't feel like that this is going to be, I don't think it's going to give me that kind of trouble. So I'm looking forward to carrying it.
Nice.
So does sausage grease count as grazing your knife?
As oiling your knife? Yes.
Oiling my
Probably.
knife.
I mean, there's probably some anti-rust potential.
Keep rust off of it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know about the salt though. That's probably the problem. All in all, I love this knife. I love the sheath. I love that it's made of leather and it's very lightweight. I love the different ways that you can carry the sheath. I love the way the knife feels in my hand, and the way that the sheath holds the knife in very well. You know, as far as the The fire starter, the whole thing there with the flint, you know, it's not a big deal to me. When I chose this knife, I chose that as an option because I'm going to be taking this knife backpacking, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to have. But, you know, the fact that I can't get it to work properly, maybe it's my operation, maybe it's the rod itself, don't know. Either way, that's not a very big deal. It's not a deal breaker for me. You also have the paracord, which you can tie into this some sort of fancy way so that you have two options. You have another way to grab it. You can hold it around your hand, and then of course you have some extra paracord if you're out on the trail and you need it for an emergency situation. So that's kind of cool as well. The best part about this, of course, that it's quality. It's very good quality. The way that it feels in my hand, love all that. But it's less than $50, y'all. Less than $50, and you're going to get a very, very good quality bushcraft knife. So, you know, that in and of itself is just very impressive from this company. And again, they have a very large selection of knives, axes, and carving tools. So you definitely want to check them out.
And if you think about this, guys, you can get up to thousands of dollars for bushcraft knives, but then do you really want to beat the hell out of a lot of those with batoning and things like that? So this one is something, it's like how you always have a pair of cheap sunglasses. You never lose them, you always have them. That's what it is. You can treat this knife how you need to treat it to use it, and it's not going to hurt your feelings because you only spent 50 bucks. And you supported a country during wartime.
All right, guys, if you have watched this video to completion, be sure to give us a thumbs up. Also, drop us a comment and let us know what you think about this bushcraft knife, and be sure to check out BeaverCraft and what else they have to offer. If you're not already subscribed, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more adventures from Down South Adventures. Thanks so much for watching.